Flat Earth theory is gaining traction, and today we're going toe-to-toe with ChatGPT to defend round Earth. And then wait starts now. If the Earth were truly a spinning ball, we'd constantly feel that motion. At over 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, the centrifugal force alone should send us flying off, or at least drastically affect the way we move, yet we feel nothing. What is your rebuttal to that, sir?
Okay, a force is a mass times an acceleration. An acceleration is a change in your velocity. So velocity is not just your speed, but it's also your direction. So we're thinking about this as the Earth rotating in one direction all the time, and it's not changing how fast it's spinning. It's always spinning relatively the same speed. When you're going the same speed in the same direction, you don't feel anything, no matter how fast you're going. If you don't feel like wind pushing back on your face or something like that. Like if you're in a box and you close your eyes and you're going the same speed in any direction, you have no idea if you're sitting still or if you're moving.
Right, like an airplane is going 700 miles an hour. You have no idea how fast you're going.
Right, but you certainly feel takeoff, right? Because your speed is changing. And you feel it when you land. And you feel it when you move up and down. But if the plane is perfectly like holding that velocity and it's holding its altitude and it's going in a straight line, you don't feel anything.
So the Earth is moving at a constant and we don't feel it.
Exactly. There you go. Merry Christmas.
Okay. All right. So what gives you the right, huh? Why do you why do you get to talk about flat Earth or round Earth here?
Well, I was born in the last 500 years. That was pretty solid. Gives me a leg up on some people from the ancient past. I've taken some physics classes, so I know about centripetal acceleration. I know about some guys. Eratosthenes. He walked from Alexandria to Cyrene. I'm probably butchering the names, but he walked from those two cities, and they had these pillars, and he measured the angle of the shadow of the sun at noon in Alexandria, and then he walked and he measured the distance of his walk to a different city, Cyrene, and they're like right above one another, and he measured the angle of the sun at noon at the other one with this same size pillar, and he calculated the circumference of the Earth.
What? That's pretty cool.
And he was right.
So ChatGPT says water, one of the most adaptable substances on Earth, always seeks a flat, level surface. So if the Earth were curved, large bodies of water should clearly bulge, yet no one has ever observed this. The so-called proof of a round Earth relies on manipulated images and theoretical science, not first-hand observation.
Okay. First of all, there is a big bulge of water. It's called the tide. When the moon is in a line with the sun, we have this bulge of water that's being pulled out towards this moon.
Yeah.
And then when the moon is on this side of the Earth, or really the Earth is rotated this way, the bulge stays in line with the moon. As the moon goes out here, now it's 90 degrees with the sun. The sun is pulling the water, and the moon is pulling the water, and those forces cancel each other out. So they actually have like a little tiny small bulge towards the moon. So we get smaller tides during that time. So what I'm saying is you literally can see that there is a bulge of water because the Earth is rotating into this bulge, and the bulge, the water being pulled up, is how we get the high tide. And we can tell how much the tide height is because of how strong the total pull is of the tidal force that's pulling the water off the Earth. And we know why it's getting pulled off the Earth. It's because of the tidal forces of the sun and the moon. So when the moon is opposing
that
the
no
sun,
one has ever observed this.
well, first of all, We have people who live in a space station that orbits the Earth, and there's tons of them. They're from a bunch of different countries, not just the United States, but pretty much every country except for China, because we kicked China out of the ISS. But even countries that we're not really politically friends with, like Russia, are up there on the ISS. I'm trying to remember why it said there would be a bulge at all.
If the Earth were curved, large bodies of water should clearly bulge. Yet no one has ever observed this. That's all it says.
So this is another thing, is if there weren't a tidal force, like if the moon and the sun didn't exist and it's not in the picture, and we're actually a spinning ball and there's just water. What it's saying is the curvature of the Earth, if it's curved, the water will try and slump down into somewhere. If Earth is a sphere, gravity goes towards the center of the sphere, which from every point on the surface is the same. So it's pulling the water towards the middle of Earth, so wouldn't have any sort of weird bulbous stuff going on. The only reason that we do have tides is because there are other things pulling the water off of Earth's surface.
Okay. Shit. Now I gotta sum that up to see what their rebuttal is. So this is what I said. I said the Earth is moving at a constant speed and acceleration is 0. So people would not feel it. There is a bulge in the Earth's water. There is a bulge in the Earth's water causing the tides, but it is due to the gravitational force from the moon and the sun. Otherwise, there would be no bulge because Earth's gravity pulls all of Earth to its center.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, ChatGPT says that's what they want you to believe. And that's it. I'm just kidding. But if the Earth's movement is so perfectly smooth, why don't we see any evidence of this motion? If you ever been on a plane, you know turbulence is common, yet Earth is supposed to be spinning, orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles per hour and hurtling through space at even faster speeds, all without the slightest sensation. And as for the so-called bulge in Earth's water, that's just a convenient explanation to fit the round Earth model. If gravity is strong enough to hold vast oceans to a curved surface, how come birds can easily fly and helium balloons float upward? Gravity seems to pick and choose when to apply itself. Sounds more like a theory designed to protect a flawed model. Yeah, okay. Okay. I think that it has a good point where it says that the gravity is pulling the oceans to the center, but it's not pulling birds.
Okay, so birds and helium do experience gravity.
Yes, but why are they able to fly? I mean, what I know about birds is that their bones are what are their bones hollow and they can fly because of that?
Probably.
That's what I think, right? That's
what happens if you shoot a bird while it's flying?
It falls.
Why does it fall?
Because of gravity. Okay,
but you can't shoot helium. So, let's think about helium for a little bit.
Okay.
All right, there's this relationship between the amount of energy or the amount of force that needs to be applied to something to make it go, to make it move at all, right? And it's related to its mass. Helium has basically no mass. Its mass is real small. So when you put in a little bit of energy, what happens?
It gets really fast. I mean,
it goes super fast, super duper fast, which is why we don't have hydrogen, like hardly at all. It's a very trace element. Hydrogen is like the most abundant thing in the whole universe. We don't retain hydrogen on Earth. When it gets released, it goes away forever because it escapes to space. Because on average, it moves so fast at the temperatures and pressures of Earth that it escapes our atmosphere forever. The same is true of hydrogen or helium. What is the sun made out of?
A shitload of different gases.
Hydrogen and helium. Why is it mostly hydrogen and helium there? How does it stay?
I don't know.
Gravity! The gravity is so crazy. How much bigger is the sun massive wise? So we have a number 5 times 10 to the 26 mass of Earth. Mass of sun 2 times 10 to the 30. So it's really, really, really massive. And its gravitational influence is such that it literally holds all the planets. All this to say, helium is influenced by gravity, but Earth's gravity is like a little baby. You blow on some helium and boys freaking going the speed of light. You know what I mean? It's not that drastic, but that's very exaggerated. But like, you really don't have to put very much energy into helium to make it go extremely fast, like faster than a rocket ship. You gotta ask, who is the they that has an interest in the Earth being a sphere, right? Like who wants you to think the Earth is a sphere? Why do they want you to think that?
They refers to the institutions that control mainstream science, organizations like NASA, powerful governments, and the educational system. The round Earth model has been pushed for centuries, and those in control benefit from keeping people ignorant about the true nature of our world. Why has the round Earth model been pushed for centuries? Because a flat Earth challenges the established narrative and opens the door to questions they don't want you asking.
This idea that there's some questions that they don't want you to ask, so they put up this facade of like something else for you to look at, right? They're like, there's this distraction so that you don't ask the real question. It's like, okay, well, what's the real question? Let's say that the Earth is flat, okay, and you're being deceived, and there's some thing that everyone is trying to hide from you, so that they created this idea of the round Earth. What is the thing that they're trying to hide from you, or is that a mystery that we need to solve?
Yeah, okay, I'll ask it that.
Okay.
All right, so the real question is, what is our true place in the universe?
That's what we're being lied to about. That's the question that the powers that be don't want us to know, is our true place in the universe.
If the Earth is flat, it suggests that we aren't some random speck floating through an infinite void. It points to the idea that Earth was intentionally designed, and there's purpose, meaning, and perhaps even a greater power behind our existence. They want to keep people convinced that we're insignificant, that life is just a cosmic accident, and that we have no control or deeper connection to something bigger. By promoting the globe model, they reinforce the idea that we're powerless in a chaotic universe instead of beings living in a structured design world. So that's the heart of the flat Earth belief. It's not just about the shape of the planet, it's about questioning everything we've been told about who we are and why we're here.
By saying that the Earth has to be flat so that there's room for meaning, you're dismissing the millions and maybe even billions of scientists that have come and gone that believed in a round Earth and believed also simultaneously in the Christian God, or believed in any other number of gods and religions. Like there's a significant population of scientists who currently practice today that are fully drinking the Kool-Aid of round Earth theory, that think that there is a meaning and a purpose to their life, and that there is some higher power. So those aren't irreconcilable ideas. But in the spirit of flat Earth theorists, people who question the world around them are scientists or philosophers. They're thinkers, right? And that is encouraged. That's encouraged in the community. But another part of that is being able to empirically prove with tests and to accept results. Ask ChatGPT why God can't exist if the earth is round.
That's the thing. God can exist if the earth is round. Belief in a spherical earth doesn't disprove God or any form of intentional creation. Many deeply religious people throughout history have believed in a round earth and still saw it as part of a divine design. The flat earth argument, though, often comes from the idea that a flat, enclosed world feels more personal, like we're in a carefully constructed environment, not just drifting through endless space. For some, the globe model makes life feel random and insignificant, while the flat earth feels like undeniable proof of a purpose creation.
Here's the beautiful part, man. It is. It literally is a beautiful made terrarium for human beings. And science tells you that because we have the theory of evolution. We literally, our great ancestors from the beginning of Earth were single-celled bacteria. And eventually we became primates. We became this over literally billions of years. Science will tell you that our bodies are made to exist in these conditions as they are in nature. It is exactly the purpose of our bodies. The sun emits a peak frequency at green wavelengths at 700 nanometers about. Guess what our eyes see? That. Really good. We're really good at seeing green. The science supports the idea that there is some connectedness between your environment and your body and your purpose and you, right? There's not this, just because we're not in some fucking glass box we're not the dudes inside the tank at Finding Nemo. We're not in 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, and got Darla tapping on the glass. You know, like just because there's not some terrarium, I think is the word that is used. Just because there isn't some terrarium doesn't mean that where you live is special.